Hello， 大家好，我是温真菱，赶快订阅小公式，大大的世界从小小的开始。
Oh my gosh, there's a tornado.
疯狂的天气，飓风、暴雨、干旱、野火，全球正遭遇极端气候带来的灾难。我们的地球怎么了？为此，12位关心全球暖化现象的大人小孩，将兵分3路前进北极、帛琉、挪威，在暖化最前线，一探气候变迁的真相。
下课花露米，出发！我掉了，而且大只的，帮我！
来到帛琉探索的这几天，我们不仅看见气候变迁的实际冲击，也观察到他们在发展观光与保育自然环境间的努力。在帛琉受欢迎的观光行程中，还有一项引起我们探索小队的好奇，那就是独木舟红树林之旅。台湾也有红树林哦，我们却好像没有什么机会深入了解。来到帛琉才发现，这片占帛琉面积超过10%的红树林，竟是重要的蓝碳生态系，是对抗气候变迁的重要拼图。在帛琉最后一天，我们决定去一探究竟。
Ali,
嗨，
welcome to Palau, welcome to Niwal.
等待着我们的是 Rich， 他是美国森林局的蓝碳气候研究员，目前被派驻在帛琉监测红树林以及海草床等蓝碳系统。今天他会带领我们一路深入红树林，参观他的研究装置。
We're gonna kayak. This is the map that we're gonna take. So we're gonna go up this channel. Hopefully, if we're lucky, we'll see a saltwater crocodile I use. We might see some fruit bats. People come here to kayak and to see the beauty of the forest.
听到有机会看到帛琉红树林里的动物，我们每个人眼睛都亮了起来。但这次的任务当然不止这样。
You can see there are 4 types of roots that you will be able to see. So as we're going up the channel, I want you to keep your eyes open and see how many of these root types you can see from the boat.
因为我以前觉得红树林好像只是一片长在水上面的树，然后看完那个让我觉得，红树林好像还蛮特别的嘛。
Who loves mangroves?
Me.
All right, perfect. All right, let's get on the boat and we'll go up and keep your eye out for crocodiles and roots.
OK，
All right, let's go.
因为要深入红树林上游，我们先在港口练习划独木舟的基本技巧，接着就搭快艇进入宽广的下游区域，等到河道变窄再换独木舟。
Mohammed, that's where the plot is. So we're gonna stop at this lower mangrove, and we're gonna try to get out. It's gonna be muddy. You know what a jungle gym is? Kids climb on the jungle gym.
Yeah.
It's like a natural jungle gym.
好像到雨林哦，像到了亚马逊。
The forest here is really healthy, and you are seeing, in my opinion, Palau is some of the most beautiful mangrove forests in the world.
我们很快就抵达第一个停留点。
How many root types do you guys see?
1, 2,
3.
3. What kind of roots? Do you remember?
I don't know. Going everywhere. No.
You guys want to try to get out here?
No.
No?
No.
Are you sure you don't want to get out here? This is super fun. You get to climb.
我一定会跌倒，不行。
但我不知道怎么过去。You can do it.
So this is I call it a natural playground.
我觉得这个树枝很了不起，它这么细，但它超级坚固的。
对，
很有弹性。
第一次我就很怕那个树根会踩就啪断掉，可是我发现它其实蛮坚固的，所以我就可以安心踩上去。
So if you guys had to run through here, do you think could you run pretty fast?
No.
No, why not?
So many
They're dense, right? In the channel, when it rains and there's a big storm, it comes flying down the channel. But as soon as it hits these roots, it slows down because the water has a hard time flowing through here too, right? Then you get the deposition of all this mud.
Rich 说，帛琉的红树林有像拐杖的支柱根，以及又宽又大的板根，还有跟膝盖很像的屈膝根，以及一根根从地底冒出的呼吸根。这些因应河口环境演化而来的特殊根系，都可以帮助树木在强风和海潮下站得更稳，也帮助它们呼吸，获取空气中的氧气。此外，它们也是海岸的天然防线，能紧紧抓住泥沙，不让海岸线流失。而红树林底下的泥土，因为长期被水淹没，含氧量低，落叶、枯枝等有机物不容易被分解，因此能长期将碳保存在泥土里数百、数千年，是可以对抗气候变迁的重要蓝碳。
You see what's that?
Hair.
It's a hair. Like, is it my hair? No.
It's the root.
It's the root hair that I was telling you about. So isn't that crazy that this little piece of, here, that little hair is why there's so much carbon in the mangroves. It's because there are millions of those little hairs in these sediments.
Rich 很热心的抓了一坨泥巴，然后给我们看里面的头发，我就感觉出来他对于这边的生物的喜爱，就他眼睛一直闪闪发亮，然后一直邀请我们进去，然后跟我们说这地方真的很棒啊，真的很好玩，但是他很开心这样。
因为最近我们家旁边要做淡北道路跟淡江大桥，所以有一半的红树林都被砍了，觉得蛮难过的，也不知道为什么。他们决定要这么做，可能有别的考量，可是也能不能想一想这些生物为我们做的努力。
And what do you think is the greatest threat that these mangroves face?
Fire.
Fire? That's a good answer. I've never gotten that one. But yeah, fire can be a threat, and it is a threat in certain parts of the world. But what else?
Ocean is rising.
Yes. So they can survive being flooded, but they don't like to be flooded for long periods of time. And the mangroves will drown eventually.
一直以来，红树林会靠着落叶和泥沙的堆积抬高地势，也会向内陆移动生长，适应海平面上升的变化。但如果水位太深或长时间泡在水里，红树林也有可能无法存活。这是气候变迁、海平面上升对红树林的威胁，也是 Rich 团队在帛琉观察的重点之一。
Theoretically, the mangroves should keep up with sea level rise. And in Palau, our data says so far that they are. And we're hoping that they'll do the same thing now. And I think we can go up to the upper side and you'll see how different the upper side is compared to this.
要往更上游出发喽！
Oh, there's a Medulla Kabang.
途中 ，Rich 还随手拔下一颗果实，告诉我们这是帛琉小孩会拿来玩的玩具。
It's a puzzle nut. It's a puzzle. And so you can try to put it back together. I just pointed out one of the trees. The Dangus fruit they ate during the war. These trees are really big, so the next time you go into a mangrove, you probably will not see trees this big, unless you're in Palau.
出海口到河川上游，因为水中盐分不同，红树林植物的组成也有所差异，高度也越来越高，仿佛来到原始的侏罗纪世界。
Right here. Yeah.
我们也在这时候换搭独木舟，开始真正的独木舟探险啦！
我们是不是卡住了？
You're gonna hit us. It's like bumper kayaks.
我觉得很累，因为老板一直滑偏。
滑慢一点，老板要赶着去应酬。
他有时候滑太快，然后就一直撞到别人，然后害我一直刹车。
哦，对啊，因为我没有很常在练滑独木舟，所以我一直滑，我就没办法控制方向，所以一直撞到旁边的树根。
花了一些时间，大家终于慢慢找回手感。
Okay. Start paddling. Luca and I are like Olympic kayakers. You guys see all the crab holes? Look at that ribbon root. Do you see the ribbon root?
超酷的。 它真的跟那个砧板一样。
So completely different trees up here than at the lower site. What do you see? The palm?
哥哥破音了，激动仔。
红树林里面的那个树非常的大，3层楼超高的那种，好像很久以前的那个大的神木，很壮观。
It's beautiful in here, isn't it?
How many times do you come in here a day?
Probably 4 days a week. But we'll come out and we measure how fast the trees are growing. We're looking at the crabs, we're looking at the clams, or we're looking at the sediment. And then on the weekends, I take my kayak and I paddle through these channels because it's really relaxing for me and beautiful. So.
Rich 十分热爱红树林，他告诉我们，红树林总是让他感到非常平静。
My mom tells me that I was made for this job because she said I've been coming home covered in mud since I was your age.
虽然很累，可是我很享受，因为就是你旁边都是绿绿的，然后你也可以仔细去听那些声音。
So I think if you guys are up for it, if we get out of the mangrove here, and we'll go find my friend Sky and see what he's doing.
终于抵达 Rich 研究团队观察海平面上升对红树林影响的地点。
Where are you? Wave your hand. Okay.
哎呦，
只是我们还得手脚并用，穿越这片原始丛林。
哎呦，有平衡感，平衡感。哦，真的好难走。对，因为都是泥巴。
我也不想踩泥巴。
Oh, this.
一路往前冲的 Rich 好像发现有趣的东西。
See? He's got a red claw. And he's blue. It's beautiful, isn't it? This is one of the sesame crab. This? That's from the crab. So he's just like. He's a vegetarian.
他还特别抓了那个螃蟹给我们看，其实就是红树林对于这边的居民是很重要的，不管是螃蟹或是贝壳类，是他们主要的食物的来源。然后这些食物他们觉得非常的美味。
And I just saw there's a tiny fish about this big, and his eyeballs are on the top of his head. There's one right there, just right here.
Oh, so cute！弹涂鱼。
Rich 说的就是我们很熟悉的弹涂鱼。帛琉红树林和台湾一样，有非常多动物居住，像是弹涂鱼，或是刚刚看到颜色很美的红螯蟹，以及许多埋在泥里的贝类，也会吸引许多鸟类来此觅食。
姐姐，你走太快了吧？哎呦。
Hey, Sky.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
What's this？
Have you met?
终于来到研究地点，研究团队的 Sky 为我们介绍观察地势上升速度的装置。
What you see here, this is what we call an RSET.
Yes.
And we had some stainless steels. We jackhammered it into all the way down to the stopping point, and then this thing, you can turn it around, and you go in different directions. Compass.
研究人员会把金属棒打入红树林下方20公尺处的岩石，作为测量基准点。接着装上一个横向的测量杆。当泥沙逐渐堆积，会把9支白色塑胶棒向上推，依序4个方向测量，就会得到36个数据，推算出整体地势上升的速度。
10.1.
Oh yeah.
We can track how fast it's rising or falling, because sometimes they fall. So we know sea level rise in Palau is about 2 millimeters per year.
Yep. This way.
And so we track this, so we'll come back here every year, and then we can compare it to what the sea level rise is here.
不过，随着科技进步 ，Rich 说现在也有不一样的测量方法。
Do you guys have iPhones? Yes. Do you guys know that there's a laser in your iPhone called a LiDAR? No. So I'm going to show you something that's really cool.
Rich 突然像巫师做法一样，拿着手机在我们身边绕啊绕，没想到测出来的结果竟然让大家眼睛都亮了起来。
So I just took that picture. Okay, I can turn it. I can.
Oh, so cool. Oh, 变这样
Right?
欸，好帅哦。
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
Okay, so now what this does, it's a laser, and every pixel in that picture is a distance from that rod. And we have a program that can analyze that. So how many points do you think is in there? Thousands, right? So now we've gone from 36 points to sometimes we get 360,000 points. And we scan it like that.
Rich 说，目前红树林的生长速度还能跟得上海平面上升，但最近10多年来，海水上升速度逐年加快，对于提供许多动植物生长以及支撑整个海岸生态系的红树林，未来充满了不确定性。
Everybody talks about carbon and mangroves, like that's blue carbon, but the mangroves are so much more than carbon. And if we can use the carbon to protect the mangroves, we can protect everything else.
一直以来，红树林对帛琉都是重要的，不只保护海岸线和海洋生态，也提供食物来源，甚至红树林不易腐烂的特质，也是帛琉传统造船和建筑的材料。为此，我们再次拜访酋长，除了探索还没有机会见到的传统建筑拜男人会馆，也想了解他们如何在传统和现代间做出攸关生态和人民的重大决策。
Well, welcome again to the village of Ordoml. So this is, in the traditional sense, our government. It's called a bai. The actual wooden structure is over 300 years old, but the base is more than 1,000 years old because the bai has been replaced many times. Because this is still a functioning space. So we meet here once a month. So the 10 chiefs meet in here. This is my seat, by the way, over there. Okay. Here I'm number 8. And they discuss laws and discuss conservation and discuss everything that has to do with the village.
让我们吃惊的是，虽然这建筑物叫男人会馆，也只有男性可以进入，但酋长竟告诉我们，帛琉其实是母系社会，女性才是真正的领导者。
The 10 chiefs in here are chosen by 10 women. If the men don't listen, a chief can be removed anytime if the women don't like them.
OK， 我觉得蛮酷的，因为目前去过的国家都是，国王是男生，什么一切事情都是男生决定，他们是男生做决定，没错。可是是女生选谁要来做这个决定，所以那个8号酋长讲了3次，他说如果你做了女生不喜欢的决定，他会就把你换掉，就觉得超级酷的。如果台湾也可以这样，我觉得蛮棒。
在这个传统管理制度还持续运作的建筑物中，每一个图腾也都有背后的故事，像是这个墙面上的公鸡图案。
What do you think the rooster symbolizes?
Wake up.
Smart. The rooster represents the character of a chief who has to be the first one to wake up. Because they have to know what's happening in the village. So right now, you get up in the morning, you take your cell phone, you know everything happening in the world, right? Yes. The world comes to you. Yes. In the olden days, you couldn't do that. Yes. So you had to wake up and go check. Is there a problem here? Any problems there? What's happening in the village?
我自己觉得很不容易吧。他要去关心到每一个，不管是海洋生物啊，或是自己附近的邻居啊，或是自己家人，所有的资讯，然后带到男人会馆来讨论。今天要讨论哪些重要的事情
What's this?
What do you think this is? What does it look like?
A dog.
It's a fruit bat.
Bat.
Bat. It's a bat.
哦，蝙蝠
It's a bat. See the wings?
哇，没有仔细看，真的没有发现这是一只翅膀超大超长的蝙蝠。
When it's holding onto the tree, where's the head? So this represents respect. So when you come into the bai, you have to bow and go inside so you can respect the other chiefs inside. Because the bat always has the head facing down.
酋长们在这个有点诗意的空间中讨论决策。最特别的是，所有决定还需要全体一致通过后才能生效。
Our system of government is not voting. We don't vote like Congress in Taiwan, like voting yes, no. It's consensus. So if the 10 chiefs must all agree, what happens if we cannot decide? If maybe 2 people say, no, it's still okay. What do we do?
当意见不一致，解决方法是由4位最高级别的酋长来到户外讨论区。
Now, why do you think they've come out here to make a decision?
Because inside have too many people.
Good reason, but there's also another practical reason. Imagine it's right now, it's hot, right? And you have to sit over there to make a decision. How long do you think you're going to sit outside until you make a decision?
very quick.
There you go. See? So the nature will make you decide.
太幽默了，竟然是要借着太阳的热力，让酋长们更快做出决定。
But now, because now we have a democratic system of government, as a chief in this village, we work with the governor. And so the governor actually would designate this area as a conservation area. And then they would have rules. You can go in, you can snorkel, but you cannot fish.
从传统走向现代民主制度，帛琉人真的为我们示范了两者完美结合的方式。
And so sustainability has always been in our culture. And so working with nature, not fighting it, is a way to conserve it and to make sure that kids like them have a chance to harvest the same type of fish in the future.
这几天遇到的帛琉人，他们与环境共生的态度令人印象深刻。
就是在跟他们做研究或是探索的过程，很常觉得他们眼睛总是闪闪发光。他们对这件事情反而是抱有某一种乐观跟期待的，蛮希望把自己所见所看到的慢慢的分享，然后让更多人知道，也可以让我们继续做点什么吧。
我很希望能把这种与自然共存的理念带回台湾。
我觉得台湾那边的危机意识可能没有这边那么高，因为看到他们这边好像还好好的，但他们说已经不太好了，然后我们那边是整个不好。
这趟旅程下来，我们也更深刻感受到气候变迁的影响是真实存在。
因为我有说我想去看水母湖，他们那些水母是不是真的变很少？然后我来帛琉这一趟，我就知道这是真的。就真的很悲伤啊，就很失望啊，就是明明好好一个水母湖就变成现在这样。
天灾绝对不是一个国家造成的，是全球人民造成的，排放太多的碳造成的。瑞典还是芬兰有个女生，每个礼拜五为气候罢课，所以我有在思考这个问题，然后也不知道这样会不会被老师骂，可是又觉得好像蛮有用的，就是为了你在意的事情去抗议。
这趟帛琉探索之旅，我们走过森林与海洋，感受这片上帝水族箱的生命力，却也见证气候变迁带来的冲击。科学家和当地居民用最温柔的方式守护环境，而我们也参与了每个重要的时刻。我相信，我们不只是一个人，而是改变的一部分。每个微小的选择，都能成为守护环境的重要一步。
我先吃一下有没有？好吃，好好吃哦！它就是经过是吗？No, not just there. Here now. Now it's here. That's different now. Cheers! No.
Are you sure you don't want to get out here? This is super fun. You get to climb. You're gonna hit us.
Boom.
Fun for kayak.